After watching some of the greatest individuals there are and doing a lot of hard things myself, I finally figured out what makes some of the top 1% of people today. And I want to share it with you. First of all, I didn't grow up with any connections. I wasn't handed anything in this life. I just refused to be broke, average, and stuck in my ways. And I learned quickly from those around me and by studying the greats. The top 1% of people don't win because of luck. They win because of how they think, how they move, and how they tolerate everything around them. These are the 5 traits that change everything for me, and they can change it for you. The first one is relentless discipline. Discipline isn't motivation, it's identity. The top 1% of people don't ask themselves, am I feeling motivated today? It's about doing the action. They act based on what needs to be done. It doesn't matter about the weather, it doesn't matter about how they feel or if they're hurting in some areas. They're going to get the job done. They're going to get their work done, they're going to get their to-do list done. They're going to achieve their workout for the day, and you name it. Because it's not about how they feel. It's about doing what needs to be done. You need to understand this to a T. Get up early because you said you'd get up early. Outreach to those 15 people because you said you would. Start the business today because you told yourself you would. The second thing I notice is vision-driven thinking. They usually don't think week to week. They're usually driven by a certain goal in mind, and that could be years down the track. Every decision is filtered by a certain way of thinking. Is this action that I'm doing today moving me closer to the goal I'm thinking about or the goal I'm aiming for? Am I moving the needle any closer? You need to be thinking entirely goal-based and goal-orientated. When you're writing your to-do list the night before for the day ahead, is it targeting everything that needs to be done? You need to reject all the distractions and enjoy working in the silence. You're not fueled by people's validation, you're fueled by your own driven goals. Number 3 is unshakable composure. The top 1% of people are emotionally strong. They don't react to those around them that are lower tier. They do not whine and complain. A man should never hear himself complain, said by a wise Stoic once before. They are problem solvers and they do not give problems to people without a solution. And if you need to, you should have quiet reflection on how to be more composed. You should find ways to calmly navigate through stressful work situations. You shouldn't become flustered in a work capacity. You shouldn't become flustered in a traffic situation. There are many ways and many occasions that you see people freak out. People would freak out in the COVID pandemic. There aren't enough produce or utilities at the shopping mall. So what? Figure out the problem. Go to the store. Go to another store. Find it online. Targets, there are so many ways to problem solve, but you need to find that yourself. Number 4 is execution over excuses. Ideas are cheap, executions are rare. The 1% actually build what they're talking about. And they don't broadcast every step along the way. Some people like to document, sure, that will give you some boost and can aid to what you're building. You don't need to show off that you're working out while other people are partying. You don't need to show off that you're working out while other people are binging on Netflix. You should find gratification in just working in silence sometimes. Number 5 is self-respect in every area. They don't eat like trash. They don't hang with low-energy people. They don't tolerate environments that drain them. Self-respect is their operating system, and so should it be yours if you want to be the top 1% of the world. Clean eating, morning rituals, ways to become the best version of yourself. These are all ways for best self-respecting outcomes. If someone isn't treating you the way you would treat yourself, then you should push them off to the side and never talk to them again. You should always have a certain bar and don't nudge it for anyone. You don't need to be born in wealth. You don't need a massive following. You just need to have standards. And once you live by them, you'll see that most people are actually quite average. And why the 1% actually live differently. You will see the world in a whole new space. If you want to know any more tips on becoming the top 1% of the world, then let me know. I'm always happy to give more tips and advice on everything great. and everything becoming the best version of yourself. Because if you aren't thriving and striving for that, then what are you really going for, right? As always, I'm Jaden Connolly, and thank you so much for watching.